Welcome back to Inside the Wave. This is John Burrows, Isaac Popper, joined by Tulane defensive lineman Adin Huntington, who's going to talk a little bit about his recruitment to Tulane, how he got here, his journey in football, and a little bit about Tulane's upcoming matchup against the Oklahoma Sooners. Thank you so much for joining us, Adin. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, happy to. Before we get started, you got something going on at Campus Connections? Maybe a little NIL jersey deal. You wanna
Yeah, I
tell
actually
people
got
where
my
they can
own
get your
shirt.
jersey?
Yeah, I got my own couple shirts. I got I got a own. My saying is "stay starving." For me, like that's something I go by every day. Striving to, just continue to work hard and just go out there and get it. So I got my own shirt. I got a picture of it. Y'all go out there on Campus Connect, get the shirt. It come in black, white, green, blue. All sizes up to 3X, small to 3X. So y'all go get the shirt.
Awesome. Aiden, you were in Louisiana last season after Kent State, but this is your first hurricane. How are you feeling now that it's starting to get real today with it landing?
I feel great. I'm a big believer in God, and I feel like I'm safe and highly protected. But I'm not really. I don't really know what really goes on with hurricanes anyway. I'm from Virginia, so I don't really know much about hurricanes. But I think the less thinking I have to do because there's great support staff. We have great people in within our program that make it easy for us to say, hey, just be here at this time. Be here at this time. So I know where I need to be at each time to make sure I'm safe and I'm good. So I appreciate that.
So, speaking about the schedule, can you tell us a little bit more about where you and the team are today and what today looked like?
Yeah, so today is a normal Wednesday for us. Wednesday's a third down day. We'll go install third down. Well, we'll probably do some normal downs still since you play a little normal downs is first, second down, and third downs. You have third down calls because that's when you want to get off the field. But install our third down or our third down script. Uh, you know, Basically it's third and short, third and medium, third and long, and then you kind of have some of the fringe area stuff that we go over. So that's kind of what our Wednesdays look like.
And did you practice at the Superdome?
Nah, we were at the Saints facility in Metairie. So that was nice. I look at that as a blessing. Also, being able, a lot of times you don't get the opportunity to actually be in that atmosphere of an NFL, just practice facility and actually knowing that's where they practice, that's their facility. That kind of gives you a good motivation and something to say, hey, I'm already practicing here. This is very attainable for the future. So it's nice to practice there. They got a nice indoor, and we're very appreciative when we could get in there, to save us from the heat and in this instance, the hurricane. So it's a blessing.
That's awesome. A great partnership existing between Tulane football and the New Orleans Saints. Switching over to last game versus Kansas State, obviously a tough loss. We don't need to talk about it, but do you think the team has bounced back mentally yet or still needs a few more days?
No, I think they was fine right after the game. I mean, I think one thing that I like and one thing that I kind of approach is, control what you can control. I mean, we lost, it happened, but you got to just keep showing up, move forward, and good things gonna happen when we watch the tape. We learn from the tape and we approach this week with the right mindset. We only get so many opportunities. We already played 2 guaranteed games. We got 10 left, and those 10 are gonna go by fast. So we won't have time to really dwell on things or kind of sit and sulk. So we gotta just, short term memory as far as the negatives that happen, but also use those negatives to propel us moving forward in the following weeks.
I love to hear that. I'm sure Tulane fans will as well. We're looking forward to beating Oklahoma this weekend. Can you walk us through the recruitment process and how you came to that decision? I know you were close to potentially choosing Oklahoma, maybe another school like Duke. So how close were you to choosing one of those other schools?
I think for me, it was, it was close, but it wasn't close. I think it wasn't close because I knew what I was looking for. I knew the what I had a list of things I was looking for. A big thing for me transferring and leaving ULM was I wanted to go to a good program that wins. I wanted to go somewhere that would coach me to help, sharpen my saw a little bit more. Postgraduate opportunities were big for me. Who I was going to be playing with was also big for me. Those are just a couple. So when I looked at it, starting from Duke, Cal, Oklahoma, and Tulane, all of them are defensive minded head coaches. All right. So now I know this is something that's important to the team defense. And between all those four schools, Duke, Cal, Tulane, Oklahoma, postgraduate school wise, if I get my master's or when I get my master's degree from one of those schools, I'm going to have a master's degree from a very prestige college. And then looking at winning programs, Cal hadn't won a lot in the past. Duke, they had the new coaching change with Mike Elko going to Texas A&M and then Manny Diaz. But defensively, that scheme and structure produced a lot when he was at Miami and even when he was a DC at Penn State. But Oklahoma won, Brent Venables won. I think right now, because Nick Saban retired, amongst college coaches, he has the most national championships won. So he won, and then Coach Summerall, it was very he won at Troy, and then he gets a program that won already before he got here. So that's kind of what I was looking at. And, came down to Oklahoma and Tulane, just basically the scheme, the opportunity. Oklahoma had great coaches. Coach Bates, he produced some of the most D-line talent in NFL. Dexter Lawrence, Christian Wilkins, Cleveland Farrell, Brian Brzee, Tyler Davis, a bunch of these guys. So, and then Brent Venables, that's a staple of a name. But for me, I wanted to come to Tulane. I trusted Coach Summerall, trusted Coach Wilk. I trusted everybody to know that, hey, everything that's going to happen is going to be reliant on my ability to trust y'all, my ability to continue to learn, and my ability to continue to produce. And also, I was very comfortable with, number one, I also was cognizant on who I was going to be playing with. So me playing with Pat Jenkins, me playing with guys like Eric Hicks, that's something I was looking forward to because at the end of last season, Pat was like top 13 defensive tackles in the nation. I was top 23. So I'm looking to see, I'm a big believer in iron sharpens iron as another man sharpens each other. So coming here, knowing, hey, Pat was 10 spots higher than me for some reason. I'm coming here and seeing those reasons. I want to see what he's doing. And then we just fed off each other all summer. So that was a big reason also. So that's kind of how I came to my decision.
Excellent. Thank you so much for all the detail. What are you enrolled in right now in postgrad here?
I'm doing sports studies.
Nice. How are you enjoying the curriculum so far?
No, it's very nice. I want to open my own performance facility after I'm done. God willing, a good NFL career, long NFL career. I just want to take what I learned from basically high school, from college, and use that to train, collegiate athletes to hey, I want to have my training section. I want to have nutrition. I want to have PT in there to allow guys to, hey, they come in and everything is readily available for them. Like for myself, I do all my meal prep. I do all my basically my body would work except for a couple of things. So understanding how key that is, just using that knowledge to kind of help other guys out that don't know that or don't realize how important all those things are.
Awesome. How hard was it to switch positions this summer? You talked about being a defensive tackle, and we've seen you line up on end at the end position a little bit.
Mhm. It wasn't difficult. I think it was for me, I enjoy healthy challenges because it's one of those reward things. The mind likes a reward when it faces something difficult or challenging. So knowing I had to learn something new, learn a new technique, learn something a little that I'm not used to, it made me work a little harder. It made me focus on the little things a little bit more. But for me, it's still football. I kind of, when I was at Kent State, we ran basically we ran a 4-man front, but we was in twos. So that's kind of similar to where I'm at now in a four. But I'm gonna be slanting, I'm gonna be moving, I'm just gonna play football. So I don't try to overlook the alignment which I'm in. I just try to dominate wherever I'm at. That's how I look at it.
Let's dig into that a little further. Southeastern was game planning for you, and then from my angle, it felt like Kansas State was holding you at least on a lot of plays. So, how can you go and dominate this week over in Norman?
I just gotta do my job. I gotta just know who I am as a football player. I can't overthink anything. I can't try to do too much. I am who I am. I put that on tape already. Will it be probably a little bit more difficult because they recruited me or because they know the body of work I present? Maybe. Do they care? Probably not. Who knows? I just know I got to do my job. I got to control what I can control and just play my game. That's the biggest thing that I try to think about. Aiden, I tell myself, just play your game. Just be you. You can't be anybody else because what I've done has brought me success already. So I try not to try to be like I'm never gonna be JJ Watt. I'm never gonna be Aaron Donald, but I'm gonna be Adin Huntington, and my job is to be the best me I could be. And Saturday, I just gotta be the best me I could be fresh, play reckless, play create, just play my game of football. And I think when I do that, things are gonna work. Things are gonna be very good.
Well, we're on ESPN again this week, so I'm looking forward to the world meeting Adin Huntington this Saturday, like they did with Darian Mensah last week. Oklahoma centers are battling some injuries right now. I think I know the answer to this question, but does that help the DTs at all, or is the
Mhm.
mindset just to be the best that you can be, no matter what?
I think it's an interesting thing because I think as a D lineman, I think some of the hardest guys you go against are the backups because it's like a baby snake. You don't know what you're gonna expect. They're not as big or as maybe strong or experienced as them older guys, but just not knowing what you're gonna get, that could be a little more difficult. There's not much film on them. You don't see a lot what they do, but I think what's gonna help us is we have experience among ourselves, just as a defense, not as a cohesive unit, but as individuals. So Eric Hicks been playing a long time, Pat been playing a long time, I've been playing a long time. So just using our abilities and our skills to, because we never want to overlook an opponent. That's something we don't want to do. No matter if there was a 40-game starter, they could still look bad on tape. But we just got to respect who we're going to play. We just got to just say, this is who we're going to play and just go out there and do what we're supposed to do.
I love that mindset. And Shadre Hurts was a perfect example of that. Freshman backup last season and didn't let up a sack, barely let up any pressures the entire year. Aiden, some coaches are saying you'll run a 4.7 at the combine. I know you were a track star in high school, but is this true?
Uh, I don't want to say it's true or false because I don't want to tell y'all I'm going to run that and I'm going to go run something faster. I just want to say I kind of want to just focus on the season, because I know if I do what I'm supposed to do and God willing, what I'm going to do this season, the sky's the limit. When I get invited to whatever bowl game, East West or Senior Bowl, I'm gonna do what I'm gonna have to do there. If I get invited or when I get invited to the combine, I'm gonna do what I'm gonna have to do there. So I just, I really take it one day at a time. I'm really trying to be where my feet are. But I think and I know, hey, if God want me to go run that 40 at the combine, I'm going to run. I'm going to run for real at the combine. It's going to be a blessing. It's going to be good.
Excellent. Well, you're on the Senior Bowl watch list, so good luck to that. And I'm going to turn it over to John.
Yeah, so we talked a little bit about your time at Kent State and Louisiana Monroe before getting to Tulane. For Tulane fans watching that aren't as familiar, and correct anything if I'm wrong, you spent 3 years at Kent State before you went to Louisiana Monroe for one season, right?
Yeah.
All right, and so then that season at Louisiana Monroe was kind of your breakout year, where you had 8.5 sacks and 16 TFLs. What changed for you that season that led to that?
I think the biggest thing for me is at Kent State as a sophomore, I had 3 sacks and seven whatever TFL, 7+ TFLs coming off the bench. So I always had a high self belief within myself of knowing who I am as a player. I just was stuck in a backup role, but I didn't let that define me. When I went to ULM, I told myself, this is your floor right here. I played minimal snaps. This is my floor. Now it's just up to me to figure out, Aiden, what's your next floor? Because that's not my ceiling. I think that's just my next floor. So for me, last season, that's why I don't trip. I started out the season kind of slow. I had to get a good feel because that was a brand new team I was playing with. That's a new environment. I wasn't used to the heat. I had to. That's some of the things that I had to overcome and work on. But as far as what happened, I started approaching the game a lot more serious. I started actually preparing. Um, and I just went out there and just did what I do. I try not, if you try to do too much, if you try to overthink, it's going to take away from your ability as a football player. I try to do as minimal, but as much as possible without trying to overload my mind so I could just go out there and just play football. If, I try to do a couple, because I'm a D lineman, something I just got to know if back to me tied in away, it may be blocking down and they coming back to me. But I just got to recognize back away, they coming to me. I don't need to see the whole picture. I just need to see what's right in front of me. And I just think last season I had a lot of good success just because I played hard. I never quit. Even though we was losing, that didn't define me as a player. I just went out there and still tried to play the game I loved and play football and dominate. But I just think I just had a high belief within myself just to just go and play. And I took that risk going to ULM. People, I had the Troy offer. I had the JMU offer. I could have went back home. I had all these different schools. Once I got Troy was trying to hit me up, but I decided to go to ULM because I wanted to take the chance on myself, not only prove it to myself or prove it to others. Like I am who I say I am, and then I went out there and did that. And that's a biggest blessing, and I'm grateful, to have that opportunity to go to ULM and have that type of success because before I got there, that was in the position I was in. That wasn't what kind of the norm was. So I kind of broke that norm, God willing, and I was just able to do what I was able to do, and that's a blessing.
Yeah, that self-belief is definitely super important. I want to talk a little bit about your journey getting to Tulane. You obviously arrived. What have been your first impressions of the Tulane football program, and what it's been like playing here?
I say my first impression is just the talent level. I think the overall talent. I think this is one of the most talented teams I've been on since I've been in college from really both sides. I just think that was the most thing. That's what I saw off the bat. Uh, then I just think everybody has this belief in themselves. Also, everybody, honestly, when I was at ULM, kind of Kent a little bit. We was because we played a lot of big teams at Kent, but we didn't really believe until we was in the game with some of these people. Like Like when we played A&M 2021, we didn't believe until we was in a game and we going into halftime. It's like 13-3, right? But here, man, it was like, yo, last week we gonna go beat Kansas State. We're going to go do this. So a lot of that too, and also just kind of the maturity of the team. I think this is the first team, probably because I'm an older guy, but all the teams I've been on were kind of a mixture of things as far as you got young guys, you got older guys, but this team is very mature. And I think offense and defense, I think the youngest guy is probably a junior or a redshirt sophomore. So it's probably one or two of those. And everybody else, except for Darian, everybody else is like grown. Like they're 21, 22 years old playing football. So I think that's another thing that I noticed also.
Yeah, it's definitely one of Tulane's older teams they've had. Part of the reason Tulane fans are so optimistic this year. What have your first impressions been of Tulane outside of football? This, whether that's the city of New Orleans, the campus, the student body. What's that transition been like for you?
It's been all right. I mean, I'm not, I know what I came here for. I'm taking online classes. I haven't seen the campus. I don't know. I honestly don't know what the campus looks like. I just go to Human Stadium and go home. uh, and as far as the city of New Orleans, I don't think I really experienced the city of New Orleans because, like I said, same thing when I was in Monroe. I'm going from the facility home and I'm going to do whatever I could do to get ready for the next day of football and just having a supreme peace of mind and just being able to relax. So that's kind of where I'm at. It's a blessing to be, in New Orleans. It's a blessing to be here, but I just haven't had it's not like I'm a tourist, so I haven't had the free range time just to go see everything or see what the city has to offer.
Locked in. I love it. When OU recruited you, obviously playing Oklahoma this week, so it's particularly relevant. But what was their pitch to you, and how did they want to use you? Had you gone there, and how was that different or similar to Tulane's pitch?
Nah, they wanted me. They wanted me to play 3 tech, kind of that. I'm trying to think like that Brian Brzee role. If you think back when they had Brian Brzee and Miles Murphy a little bit, those are the newer guys. Tyler Davis, guys like that. Like I mentioned, they had Dexter Lawrence, Christian Wilkins. So they wanted me to play 3 tech. I was going to have to play 3 tech, move a little bit around, maybe have some opportunities to rush the edge. Um, but Tulane said, "Yo, we want you on the edge. We want you playing football, kind of playing this field in position." So I think, but Oklahoma just got so much history. That's the biggest thing I noticed when I was getting recruited. I mean, I was holding the Heisman on my visit. That was crazy enough. And then just knowing, I've been watching football for years, so knowing like you walking through the halls and like, okay, this is where Kyler Murray, Jalen Hurts, like this is where they actually was at. This is where these guys were at, and and just also, the knowledge that they had on that coaching staff was that was elite. Like I said, they got Brent Venables, probably the best defensive coordinator before he became a head coach in college football. Todd Bates produced an immense amount of D line talent. He's a great recruiter. They got Chavis, their DNs coach that had Xavier Thomas and all these guys. And then so they got an immense amount of talent and know what to do with it. Also, just to be able to produce and have guys in a position to make plays. So that was kind of their pitch. But I'm at Tulane. I'm happy here. I'm blessed to be here. Um, they did their thing too. They went, they showed me a lot also. How they was gonna use me, PowerPoints, different things. So I'm blessed to be here. They got a great scheme also. They got an immense amount of guys they coached. Coach Gas was with Yaya Diaby. He was with Yasir Black. They had Pascal. They had Javon Solomon. TJ Jackson had success. Um, Will Cholo had success. Um, they just had an immense amount of guys, so why not? Why not take the risk and come here and do something I never done? No risk, no reward, and I think there's a reward for all of us at the end of the season.
Yeah, it definitely has the potential to be a historic season, especially with that extra expanded playoff spots up for grabs. What can you
Yeah,
tell Tulane fans about the Oklahoma offense that y'all are going to go up against this week?
I mean they're a good offense. They don't got Jeff Levy anymore as OC, so it may be a little new wrinkles and a little different things. Dylan Gabriel hit the portal. They got a good transfer wide receiver, Deion Burks. Nick Anderson, I think, is still nursing an injury. The starting center, he had season injury, bicep surgery. A bunch of guys rotating on the offensive line. Uh, the running backs, a running back by committee, Jackson Arnold, good quarterback. I just think, hey, there's not really much on what they gonna do. Is we just got to do what we got to do. They're a good football team. They're Oklahoma. They're a Power 5 school. But does that matter? Does that really matter when Tulane plays to their standard and we do what we're supposed to do and utilize all our God given abilities to just go play football? I just don't. I just think we just got to do our job and control what we can control. But they're a very good team. But I just think we just have to do what we have to do.
Yeah, absolutely. You go ahead and ask USC fans if they think that Power Four title matters. Um,
Yeah,
Not sure they'd love that. Obviously, the biggest goal every week is to win, but after the season, when you look back, what are some of your personal goals this season in terms of, either numbers or NFL? What are you hoping to
yeah.
get out of this season at the end of it?
At the end of the season, I just want everything God has for me. I don't want to put. I don't want to put a governor on what God could do. Of course, I got my own personal goals that I keep close to my heart and I pray over. But as far as hey, he want me to add 20 sacks, I'm gonna add 20 sacks. If he want me at 15, I'm at 15, 10, 10. And if you want me to go to the NFL, declare, I'm gonna declare. So everything is really relying on what he wants me to do. I've been saying for a while, thy will be done. So God's will is gonna be done in all of our lives. So as far as me in this season, that's why I just take it one game at a time because I can't get to where I want to be if I don't do what I need to do Saturday, day in and day out. Saturday or Thursday is whatever day we play. But at the end of the season, I'm gonna rejoice and be happy anyway. Because we don't get to play this game a lot. Hopefully play more than 12 games. Prayerfully play more than 12 games. And then in January, hey, if like I said, if God wants me to go to the next level at that time, if He think I'm ready, I'm ready. If I'm not, I got another year. I could come back. I could graduate, get my master's degree, play some more football. Take advantage of this college football landscape, and just be ready. And by then, I'll be 23 entering the draft, so I'll still be young. So I don't think about stuff like that. I just try to even though I wanted, of course, I'll be honest, I wanted some of my goals 2 years ago. As a junior, this is my fifth year now, so I'm just along for the ride, just letting God do His thing.
Well, and we appreciate having you on. We're certainly excited to watch you this Saturday. Definitely make sure to check out Tulane versus Oklahoma. It's going to be at 2:30 on ESPN. That's 2:30 Central, 3:30 Eastern. Oklahoma might be on upset alert. I certainly think so. See what happens. I'm looking forward to it. Thanks for joining the show, Aiden, and thanks for talking to Tulane fans a little bit about your journey.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for having me, John. And tell Isaac I said I appreciate it. Also, this is a great opportunity and a blessing. I appreciate it.
Of course.